This is the City of Waupaca, first Tuesday of the month, City Council meeting.
I'll call this public hearing to order at 6 p.m. Present are all council members and staff. Is the mayor virtual?
Mayor is online. Yep.
Okay, mayor. Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay, very good.
There he is.
The purpose of the public hearing is to get testimony, if any, on an ordinance amending Chapter 17 zoning code to amend 17.104 Parent 3 permitted uses and conditional uses. And I'll turn it over to Jared at this time.
Thank you very much. So this actual ordinance can be found on 104 in your packet. This ordinance is looking at permitted, conditional, and prohibited uses within the zoning districts, specifically looking at restaurants. We do have 4 categories of restaurants: drive-in, fast food, other than drive-in fast food, and then with drive-through walk-up order service. So looking at how this was, it was in the B4 district, all of these were conditional. Reading through what our B4 district is meant to be, it is meant to house these types of restaurants, whether that be fast food, drive-in, other than fast food. So a great example would be the Fulton Street, where we have Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, Taco Bell, all of these restaurants. That's really what we set out for that district to be. So really having them conditional in that district was more of a hurdle that seemed unnecessary to staff. So that was one of the big changes here, changing all of those to permitted in B4, encouraging restaurants to go in there. Another change was the restaurants other than drive-in fast food. That is permitted across the commercial board other than B6 and B7, or other than B6. It is also permitted in B7. But, those would be the types of restaurants like Salt and Belly, Little Fat Gretchen's, the restaurants that I feel are near and dear to everyone's hearts. So those are the types of restaurants we want to see in B1, B2, B3, B4. They're the ones that attract people, especially in our downtown, attract people to the downtown, attract people hopefully eventually to the Churchill Street corridor, things like that. So permitting those across the board would be another change in this ordinance. But that's really the gist of it. So.
Okay, thanks, Jared. At this time, we'll be taking testimony in favor of the subject. If you have any testimony in favor of the subject, please go to the podium, use the microphone, and state your name and address for the record, and limit your testimony to 3 minutes or less. Is there any testimony in favor of the subject? Okay, hearing none, is there any testimony in opposition to the subject? Any in opposition? Hearing none, I'll declare this public hearing closed at 6:04. We'll go right into the council meeting. I am obviously sitting in for the mayor again. The mayor is attending the meeting virtually, but he felt it appropriate to have the meeting chaired by somebody in person. I'm council president, and that's one of my duties. I should inform everybody that I will be voting on agenda items also. So at this time, we'll go right to the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sandy, would you read the open meeting statement, please?
This meeting and all meetings of the Common Council are open to the public. Proper notice has been posted and given to the media in accordance with Wisconsin state statutes, so the citizens may be aware of the time, place, and agenda of this meeting.
Okay, thanks, Sandy. Would you take roll, please?
Colin Dykstra.
Here.
Lori Chestnut.
Here.
Paul Hagan.
Here.
Alan Keeland.
Here.
Scott Perchatsky.
Here.
Dave Peterson.
Here.
Paul Mayo.
Here.
Dimitri Martin.
Here.
Mary Fair.
Here.
And Eric Olson.
Here.
And Brian Smith.
Here.
10 present. We have a quorum.
Okay, thanks, Sandy. What I'll do at this time, and I did this last time, and the mayor's done this before too, is staff can introduce themselves, I think, starting with Sandy, and we'll go clockwise around the room.
Okay. I'm Sandy Stibbs, the city clerk.
Aaron Jensen, City Administrator.
Kathy Kaza, Finance Director, City Treasurer.
Peg Burrington, Library Director.
Jared Rakey, Community and Economic Development Director.
Justin Behrens, Director of Public Works.
Andrew Whitman, Park and Rec Director. Wesley Zuby, Sergeant at the Police Department.
And we have Josh Werner as our IT Director, is in the control room. Okay, item 5 is a consent agenda. This is an agenda that it's a collection of items that we vote on with one vote to approve. If there's any items on the consent agenda that council or staff wants to remove and put on the regular agenda, now's the time to request it. Okay, if not, I'll need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved. I'm sorry.
Moved by Keelan, second by Chestnut, that we approve tonight's consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. We have the regular agenda. We have no additions, Sandy?
No, none.
Okay. I'd be looking for a motion to approve the regular agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved by Fair, second by who? Peterson, to approve tonight's regular agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. All right, next we have announcements and correspondence. The city received a 2021 Facelift Award for Main Street reconstruction from the Waupaca Area Chamber of Commerce. Justin, would you like to say a word or two about this, or not?
I would, Paul, thank you very much. Yeah, we went to the council, or the Chamber of Commerce, awards banquet, and fortunate enough to win the Facelift Award. Incredible achievement, and would like to thank everyone in the community and those who voted for us for the project. We put a lot of staff time, I would say through the last decade, towards this project to make it a great project for the city of Waupaca, something that fits the community, and we have received an overwhelmingly positive response for the project afterwards, and the award from the chamber is just icing on the cake.
Very good. Nice work. Okay, next we have public input. Public input is for non-agenda items only. If you have any public input on a non-agenda item, step to the podium, state your name and address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. Is there any public input from council, anybody in the audience, staff? Okay, we'll move on. With unfinished business, the second reading of ordinance number 01-2022, an ordinance amending 17.102 zoning district map is allowed for under 17.700. This is second reading. Jared, would you like to remind us what this is all about?
Of course, thank you very much. So the staff report starts on page 88 of your packet. This is for 1401 Churchill Street. This property was purchased by Agape Help Center. They are currently located downtown. They're looking to expand their operations, so this is a potential site. Are kind of starting the process to work to change this into that operable site. That does start with a zoning change. They are looking to rezone it to R3, which is multifamily residential. In the future, you would see, if it is rezoned, conditional use and site plan for facilities for victims of domestic abuse and a community living arrangement for more than 16 residents. There are some incidental uses that would accompany that, but that would be coming forward separately. This is just the zoning change at this time. And there are a couple conditions, but fairly minimal and routine for a zoning change. I'll take any questions if there are any.
Nothing. This is a second reading, so we'll be voting on this tonight. I'd be looking for a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved by Hagan, second by Keeland, that we approve ordinance number 01-2022. Any discussion? Roll call? Okay, roll call, please. Sandy.
Okay, thanks. Mary Fair,
Aye.
Scott Perchatsky,
Aye.
Dave Peterson,
Aye.
Eric Olson,
Aye.
Colin Dykstra,
Aye.
Paul Hagan,
Aye.
Lori Chestnut,
Aye.
Paul Mayo,
Aye.
Dimitri Martin,
Aye.
and Alan Keeland.
Aye.
10 ayes, motion carried.
Okay, we'll move on to new business with ordinance number 02-2022, an ordinance amending Chapter 17 of the zoning code. This is the first reading, and Jared, it's you again, please.
Thank you very much. This starts on page 104 of your packet. Kind of just go off of the public hearing comments that I made initially and just kind of recap. So really major changes, and a red line can be seen on page 105, permitting all of the restaurants in the B4 district, kind of across the board, as the B4 district calls specifically for restaurants. And really that's what we see in the community today. As well as making restaurants other than drive-in fast food. So that would be like Little Fat Gretchen's, more of those specialty, smaller places, that's not a McDonald's, not a Taco Bell, and permitting those across the board in all the business districts other than B6. But I would be happy to take any questions.
Okay. Thanks, Jared. Okay, this is a first reading, so this will come up for a vote, I assume, next meeting. Item B is a public art agreement. This is the jurisdiction of Greg Groman and Justin Behrens. There's Greg.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you all. I'm Greg Roman, the grant writer for the City Chamber and School District. Tonight I'm here to talk about the public art process that we've begun last year and have now hopefully reached the conclusion of with seeking your approval for the proposed public art project. You may remember that I believe early last summer we asked your approval to proceed with a request for proposals seeking proposals for a public art project with funds received from an anonymous donation of $25,000 that the city received some years ago. Through that competitive request process, the city worked with the donor and a selection of area artists to review applications. We were able to receive a number of highly qualified proposals and ultimately settled on one, which is on the back table, fabricated there in a 3D model. It's also available in the packet. But if you want to check it out later this evening more closely, you're very welcome to look at that table. So tonight, I'm asking for your approval of this project with the terms outlined in the Public Art Commission agreement in your council packet. I do want to, allow Justin Behrens to chime in here. He was instrumental in reviewing this project for its structural integrity and to ensure that it met all design requirements, safety standards, and durability needs.
Thanks, Greg. So with the process, we did look, obviously it's a piece of art within public right-of-way, so we had to review certain issues such as liability was the main one. Got that taken care of. If a car goes off the road, it will be covered underneath our general liability insurance, no differently than a street light or a fire hydrant. It is there. As part of the agreement, we need to create a little sign that says "Do not climb." So that has been agreed upon by the artist, just so that we don't have rascals climbing up on it. And then finally, on the engineering side, had to make sure that this thing would be able to stand there and withstand various loads. And now this thing is a pretty good-sized metal structure, so it's going to be heavy. It's basically like a giant metal sail, 6 feet wide, roughly 12 feet tall.
Right.
you know, when the wind goes, which could be upwards of 50 miles per hour or more, that's a lot of force under underlying ground. So we will have to improve the foundation that it's sitting on, which Public Works will do before this thing is created, and it can be set. We found a good place on Session Street where we think it'll fit perfectly.
I also want to allow the artist to introduce himself. His name is Luke Achterberg. He's from La Crosse. He is joining us online, and I'd welcome any questions you have for any of us.
Eric, go
I
ahead.
got a question. If somebody decides they want to climb up in there and take a photo op inside the canoe, would it hold it?
Don't give any funny ideas.
No, I'm serious. You know, looking at it, somebody's going to have a bright idea and think they can climb it. I just want to make sure it's going to have some strength to it.
Yeah, you're going to have about 8 tubes that are 3/16 of an inch thick. And so that's a fairly structural piece of material, and those things will be formed into that wave and welded down. Rest assured, I am state of Wisconsin certified as a welder. Went through Western Technical College and then worked for a year and a half before attending graduate school. So the integrity of my welds won't be an issue, and the tubes will hold structural integrity to support more weight than the canoe itself, for sure.
Perfect. What's the height? 12 feet. 12 feet? The canoe will be 12?
Yeah, it's somewhere in the 10 to 12 feet range. It's, you know, it'll be around that scale.
What are those ropes or dangling, or what are the little things coming off the top of the canoe?
Those will actually be pieces of solid bar stock, so they'll be solid essentially. So they'll get shaped via heat and a 12 or 16 ton hydraulic press, and once they are shaped into that form, you could have several people hanging off of them, won't flex or
I was
shape.
wondering what they were, what it represents. Is that like a rope flying in the air, or what? I don't understand.
It's a stylistic thing that I like to do, and it gives the canoe the sense of motion and movement in a forward direction. So like the wind passing by the canoe as it's going downriver or across the lake.
Any other questions or comments? Mary? Colin, go ahead.
I don't know how to address, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, Mr. Luke, I'll say. Have you done something similar to this in the past? Any other related or something that might be similar to it?
Yes. Not this particular thing, but similar in the past by scope of, I'm sorry, and it's Luke Achterberg. I know it's a tough one.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. Let me clarify that. But yes, I've got sculptures all around the United States. Just moved 2 large sculptures, one to West Virginia University, one to and then one to Vincennes University. These were all in early December. I do a lot of temporary stuff in the public domain. I've got one at Bay Beach in Green Bay. I've got one in downtown Chicago, actually 2 in downtown Chicago. One of them's permanent, part of the Chicago Sculpture Exhibition. So I've been doing this for about over a decade, moving sculptures all over the place. I've got 3 down in Miami. The list goes on. So lots of experience taking, making, and installing. Loveland, Colorado, the Loveland Museum there. So yeah, I've got an extensive portfolio. If you want to look at my website or Instagram or things of that nature, you can see a lot of the past works that I've done, and they've all been bolted to concrete.
And if I might jump in there too, one of the things that jumped out to us about Luke when he submitted his profile was the extensive nature of his portfolio and the awards that he's won, some of them international in nature for public art, and his educational background. So he's got both the technical college background with welding, but also has an MFA from the University of Kentucky. Is that right, Luke?
Yes, yeah.
So
And then undergraduate from UW La Crosse, and I graduated from Berlin High School.
So he's an internationally recognized artist living in Wisconsin, and we're lucky to have his talent represented in our community, I hope.
Thank you.
Thank you for answering the question. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Dave.
My question is for Justin. You said you picked a spot on Session Street. Can you be a little more specific as I visualize where that's a one-way street now, right? That's the one you're talking? Yeah.
Yep, Aaron, can you scroll back up, please?
Yeah, what page is that on? I didn't see the...
Well, it's right in front of, right next to the archway. It's on the east side of Main Street in the largest bump out. Kind of right in front of the American Family Insurance window. The other direction, Aaron. Please.
Fine.
Well, the one picture shows it a little bit better. Right there. Kind of see in the background the archway to the left, and then the light pole, and then the American Family building behind it. So it's snug in between a couple palms.
Any other questions? Paul?
Will there be signage for the artist and the title and any background on it or anything?
Yes, I believe so. And that'll be something that I think we'll finalize the language that will appear on the signage. But we have intentions of putting up something on that plaque. And I think, Luke, you can speak to the way that you like to have your work recognized. I believe we talked a little bit about that last time we met.
Yeah, usually what I'll do is take a steel stamp and stamp my name into the metal, usually around the base plate area. And then we also talked about the idea of having a plaque type of a type of a plaque made that is similar to the recent piece that you guys put up, the obelisks. Yeah, so something like that would then be welded to that lower circle type structure at the bottom where the wave emits from. So something attached to that area.
If you don't mind, let me chime in just a second. I think it's, quite honestly, I think it's an awesome project, and it is going to add something that a lot of communities don't have in our downtown, and it adds to our artsy feel that we have down there. And it fits too, you know? I mean, if you think about it, the river and the canoes, and I mean, that's something that we all remember as we grow up in the Waupaca area. So I think you've hit it right on. So I like it.
I canoed the Crystal River quite a bit when I was in high school in Berlin. We come up to Waupaca every summer, at least once a summer, and get on the Crystal River. That was always a fun time.
Okay, anybody else? All right, time for a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved by Martin, second by Fair, to approve this public art agreement concerning the cresting canoe atop a great wave of Waupaca. Any more discussion? Sandy will call the roll, please.
Scott Perchatsky,
Aye.
Mary Fair,
Aye.
Colin Dykstra,
Aye.
Paul Hagan,
Aye.
Paul Mayo,
Aye.
Dimitri Martin,
Aye.
Eric Olson,
Aye.
Lori Chestnut,
Aye.
Alan Keeland,
Aye.
and Dave Peterson.
Aye.
10 ayes, motion carried.
Okay, thanks, everyone. Item C is the mayor's appointment to the Senior Center Advisory Board, and that falls to me. The mayor appoints Vanessa Wozinski to the Senior Center Advisory Board. At this time, I need a motion and a second to approve the mayor's appointment.
Move to approve.
Moved by Keeland.
Second.
Second by Chestnut.
Mary.
Oh, Mary.
I think Mary was first.
Okay, second by Fair to approve the mayor's appointment of Vanessa Wozinski to the Senior Center Advisory Board. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item D, Waupaca Online rate changes. Josh Werner, IT and Community Media Director. I'm assuming he's on his way out. Maybe not. Yes.
This is a follow-up from the last meeting with the rate changes I run. Alderperson Keelan had some questions regarding what that looked like for current customers. So I'll just recap really quick what we're proposing and then answer the question and any other questions. So despite my long tangent at the last meeting talking about all the research and experiments we've done that have led to this, we're looking to combine our 15, 20, and 25 meg plans into one high bandwidth plan on our standard pricing tier, and that would be priced at $20 more per month than our 10 meg plan. On our Business Broadband Plus plan, on our current pricing, we don't address speeds beyond 30 megs, so these rate tweaks address that, and then the rates are tied to the tiers and not necessarily the speeds anymore. So that's a quick synopsis of the changes. So the question that was posed at the last meeting, the customers that are at 15 meg or above right now, the current pricing would put them in a situation where they might be paying more than what the new pricing would be, and I'm looking for some stats on that. And admittedly, I didn't have that information at the last meeting, and that was something I wasn't going to be able to come up with really quick. I took a quick look before the last meeting with Shelley, and it wasn't a huge thing, but I did bring some stats. They're also in your packet. So we've got a total of 34 customers right now that are at speeds 15 meg or higher, which would be ones that would fall into this area that we're tweaking. Of those, only 11 customers are on our standard pricing tier right now. The rest are either on the Broadband Plus, which this wouldn't affect what they're paying right now, or they are POPs who have no-cost service in exchange for hosting an access point, which wouldn't be affected. So that leaves 11 customers that this change, when we line them up with the new pricing, they'd go down a little bit. When I totaled up those 11 customers, we'd be out $45 per month. So it's a pretty small number, but those are the stats for getting the current customers onto the new rate where they're paying a little less than the current pricing. So I'm hoping I answered that question, Alan.
I definitely answered it, but now it begs the question about, for 11 customers and $45 a month, if you raise the rate $4 per customer per month, you'd basically break even. Is that correct?
Pretty much.
Okay. I don't know if you considered that as an option or not.
No, we're at the $45 a month. I think there were just one or two customers that actually made up the majority of that, based on how the layout was where they're at right now. So it's minimal. But the goal long term is to make that higher tier more affordable, that maybe more of our current customers are willing to move into that if that fits their needs than ones that maybe kind of bulk that it's kind of high right now.
Any questions or comments for Josh on this? All right, ready to vote on it? Go ahead.
You need a motion?
Yeah, motion in a second.
Yeah, I will move to accept it.
I'll second.
Moved by Keelan, second by Chestnut, to approve the Waupaca online rate changes as described by Josh. Any more discussion? Sandy will call the roll.
Dave Peterson,
Aye.
Colin Dykstra,
Aye.
Paul Hagan,
Aye.
Eric Olson,
Aye.
Paul Mayo,
Aye.
Alan Keeland,
Aye.
Lori Chestnut,
Aye.
Dimitri Martin,
Aye.
Scott Perchatsky,
Aye.
and Mary Fair.
Aye.
10 ayes, motion carried.
Okay, item E is resolution number 1505, 2022, authorizing a representative to file applications for financial assistance from the State of Wisconsin Environmental Improvement Fund. Justin.
Yes, resolution shown on page 136 of the packet. This is done as a requirement for Wisconsin DNR and their Safe Drinking Water Loan Program, in particular the lead service line program. So what this does is it needs to be part of the application process where the council needs to appoint an authorized representative. We've done this the last few years, where we say the mayor and or the city administrator is the authorized representative. All that is the application is ready to go. We need to provide this with that application and then get a signature from one of those two gentlemen. And it puts our name in the hat for the lead service line funding. So for this coming year, we're asking for $280,000, which primarily will be used on our High and Harrison Street project. Prior to accepting those funds, there will be one more resolution after this, which basically is a council action just saying we will administer the program and the funding and do it within state and federal regulations. So this is the first of two resolutions. This is just to kick off the application in hopes that we do get funding through the lead service line program of the DNR.
Any questions for Justin? Okay, I'd be looking for a motion to approve resolution number 1505, 2022.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Chestnut, second by Hagan, to approve resolution number 1505, 2022. Any more discussion? Sandy will call the roll, please.
Paul Hagan,
Aye.
Dimitri Martin,
Aye.
Eric Olson,
Aye.
Scott Perchatsky,
Aye.
Alan Keeland,
Aye.
Colin Dykstra,
Aye.
Dave Peterson,
Aye.
Mary Fair,
Aye.
Paul Mayo,
Aye.
and Lori Chestnut.
Aye.
10 ayes, motion carried.
Item F is a water department dump truck purchase for 2022, and Justin, it's you again.
Keep rolling with it. So page 137 is the memo of purchase of new equipment. Following that is a picture of the existing truck in question. And then after that is information on a new truck we'd like to purchase. So within our water department, we do have a medium-duty truck that is a dump truck, about 5 yards. It is used on pretty much all of our digs, which means anytime there's a water leak, whether it's a main or a lateral, this truck is there. Typically hauling material, whether the spoils away or new material for backfill in. We budgeted $85,000 to replace this truck this year. Jake Waller, our street mechanic, and Roger Hansen, our street superintendent, have been looking for trucks, both new and used, because the market is very sparse. Came upon one along with looking for the park and rec little dumper. And this memo changed drastically just before publication. I was going to try something like Park and Rec did last time of getting approval, I guess, in advance, because the market is such that things are just not out there. Ordering brand new through the manufacturer, the pickup truck we ordered last year and the little dump truck we ordered last year, we still don't have. That was done in April and May of last year. So that was out of the question. Like, we need to replace this stuff now. Fortunately, these two guys were able to find a new truck sitting on a lot in Delavan, listed at roughly $81,000. that dealer agreed to honor the municipal discount, so that knocked off an additional $14,000. So now we're looking at a purchase of $67,000 and change for a brand new vehicle that will suit our needs. Once we get this truck on board, we'll have a couple more expenses putting the orange flashing lights and then the decal on the side. That's roughly $2,000 or less that we'll administer on our own. So with that, looking to kind of go around our standard procedure, get approval for this one truck that we found on a lot in Delavan for an amount not to exceed $67,604 with funding to come out of water utility revenue bonds.
Thanks, Justin. Any questions for Justin? Okay, I'd be looking for a motion to approve the purchase. Colin.
I'm sure these guys did all their diligence. Is there any reason to wait for a 4x4 instead of a 4x2? Or is that something you don't use in this particular case? It's mostly on-road.
That's correct. So not typically with this truck. If we're going to be digging, we're going to make sure it's not a blizzard. And the roads are going to be cleared. Plus, if it's fully loaded, we'll get by with just the 4x2.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, I'd be looking for a motion to approve the purchase of the 2021 Ford Super Duty F600 dump truck for the water department from Coons Auto Group in an amount not to exceed $67,604 with funding coming from the water utility revenue bonds. Motion.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Chestnut, second by Peterson to approve the purchase of the truck I just described. Any other discussion? Sandy will call the roll.
Alan Keeland,
Aye.
Eric Olson,
Aye.
Dave Peterson,
Aye.
Colin Dykstra,
Aye.
Lori Chestnut,
Aye.
Paul Mayo,
Aye.
Dimitri Martin,
Aye.
Scott Perchatsky,
Aye.
Mary Fair,
Aye.
and Paul Hagan.
Aye.
10 ayes, motion carried.
Our next item is license report number 1565, operator's licenses. Those are bartender's licenses. Do you have any issues with those at all?
No, none.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the license report.
Move to approve. Second.
Moved by Fair, second by Chestnut, to approve license report number 1565, operator's licenses. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion passes. Next, we have communications and recommendations of the mayor. Mayor, you're up. Anything?
Mayor, I think you might be on mute.
Thank you. Thank you for telling me that.
Just getting ready to step in for the mayor.
Appreciate that. So the only comments I'd like to make is that at our meeting on the 15th, and Aaron will probably touch on this a little bit too, we have a pretty long meeting planned for the 15th. Have a couple of projects going on, plus that's, of course, when our department heads let us know what's going on in the community and so on. So be prepared for a little longer meeting than Paul is getting you by with tonight. But I just wanted to warn you that it'll be a little longer than even normal on the 15th.
All right, thanks, Mayor. Okay, I need a motion to
Move to adjourn.
I got one last thing I wanted to mention, that I was looking through the notes, Greg, and I saw that Luke had dropped his hourly rate from $60 an hour down to $40. And I'd like to, see if you can at least mention it to him that we're thankful that he's willing to do that, to keep it within the scope of the $24,000 price, because I think that's pretty awesome for somebody as good as him to be willing to drop $20 an hour off his rate. So I just noticed that. I thought that was awesome.
I think that's
Thanks.
All right, thanks, Eric. Okay, motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second?
Moved by Hagan, second by Keelan. We adjourn until the next regular council meeting on Tuesday, February 15th, subject to call. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Paul, great job again tonight.
Thank you.